the next segment is the pressure grows. In the meantime, Blizzard has been going through a host of internal changes. 2018, co-founder and CEO Mike Morhaime announced his departure, making way for then World of Warcraft director J. Allen Brack, who stepped in as the studio's president. Ray Gresco, who had been with Blizz since 2004, was elevated to chief development officer, but departed barely a year into the job. Wasn't aware of that. Co-founder Frank Pierce left Blizzard in 2019. Major leaders like Chris Metz and Chris Sigete and Ben Brode all stepped away in the period between 2016 and 2020. Also got to add in the likes of Kaplan.
Yeah, he's gone now.
In late 2018, Blizzard announced it was spinning down Heroes of the Storm, its erstwhile competitor to LoL and Dota 2, moving developers to other projects and cancelling its Heroes of the Storm tournament, or Here's the Dorm tournament, and the Heroes Global Championship. Yep. It was around this time, our source tells us, that Blizzard became much more conscious about spending. Here's the juice. This was corroborated by similar reports from Kotaku. The company went from, no, don't even think about money, spend whatever you want, to, oh shit, we need to cut costs. And it happened around the time of Mike Morhaime leaving and J. Allen Brack taking over. Worth saying here, so from what I understand, and I understand this from people I do actually vaguely, not vaguely, I actually do trust in this, there was quite a lot of internal hope for J. Allen Brack, because apparently he was known for his, or standing up for his team and stuff like that. I think he actually had a very good reputation internally. So I think there was a lot of hope that Jab would still be able to, stand up and kind of protect the Blizzard way of things. But that then there was subsequently a degree of disappointment that he obviously was not able to do that. And I just think it's that thing. Jab was the new dude in a job. He's not the co-founder of Blizzard Entertainment there from the start.
No,
it's going to be easier to roll through him. And I imagine that, his contract is probably a lot weaker than Morheime's. I imagine Morhaime would have had a bit more control and power. That's personal speculation, but it would seem obvious.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where that's that's the mechanic of things, unless he came in there with extremely large shoes, it's not going to.
Well, time for the layoffs. Matters didn't improve in 2019. Activision was roiled by more than 800 layoffs in February, with the explanation that staffing levels in some of our teams are out of proportion with our current release slate, according to a leaked memo to staff from J. Allen Brack himself. Many of those layoffs came from the esports and community sections of the business. Controversy was also erupted when professional player Blitz Chung was punished for speaking out on behalf of Hong Kong on an official stream. I think history has very much proved that Blitz Chung's, that his concerns were extremely founded, and I think the next stage in that terrible, terrible thing happening in the world is Taiwan, of course. What is it? Chinese Taipei?
Yeah.
That it was called in the
Chinese,
Overwatch League?
Chinese Taipei, yep.
Fucking corporate pieces of shit. It's called Taiwan. It's an independent, democratic country. It's got shared history. It's not fucking China.
And our internet goes down.
And the internet's gone. Yeah. God damn. Stuff like that makes me fucking angry.
Yeah.
Seeing the beautiful history of Hong Kong be fucking destroyed and the rest of the world just let it happen.
It really, really pisses me off.
Disgusting.
Because obviously I've been very good friends with a fella from Hong Kong since I was 4 or 5 years of age, and him telling me about Hong Kong through all the years, bringing me back souvenirs and stuff from Macau and whatnot. I was always really excited to go, and now I'm like, fuck, I don't know.
So bad news. You actually can't. You legally can't, because the what's it called? The new law. The law. Oh my god! I can't believe this is. It's the law that applies. Technically, it kind of actually does apply to anyone.
Yeah.
It's a national security law, whatever it is. But basically, because there is now a record of you saying anti-government things, we both could get into legal bother if we ever went to Hong Kong, which is really sad because it's actually near the top of my list of places to go. Yeah. But suffice to say, Blitz Chung was goddamn right. Yep. And you know what? Whenever J. Allen Brack goes and makes those, tries to give the concessions, but basically doesn't do them properly, he's just being a corporate shill. He's being nothing but an empty vessel of a man whenever he's doing that. Whenever he's doing anything else in his life, he's being J. Allen Brack. The chill looking dude with the long hair and the shorts who actually does look like he'd be a pretty, dead on relaxing guy.
Yep.
But whenever you see those big statements, it's like, yeah, this is not actually written by a man. This is just written by a corporate vessel, an empty husk. At least Jeff Kaplan was able to speak out and say that no, he really did think that there shouldn't have been an issue there.
Man had a spine leg. I do like everyone in chat saying West Taiwan. That's what China really is.
So controversy, also erupted when Blitzchung was punished for speaking out. The backlash growing in scope until Brack was eventually forced to apologize on stage, but of course nowhere near good enough. Yeah. Towards the end of the year, Blizzard realized that Warcraft 3 Reforged, which had been hastily announced the year before to cover a gap in the release schedule, was in deep trouble.
Why release it?
That's great. So it actually turns out that because they didn't just announce that, they also started taking pre-orders and doing a tie-in.
Yeah.
So no, they actually knowingly fuck you with Warcraft 3 Reforged. So they knew it was not time to announce that game. They cynically announced it to fix an optics problem, which of course they screwed up anyway, and they fucked you.
Also, they also fucked the developers.
Cyberpunk style, actually.
The developers, they did.
Bastards.
Apparently, I can't remember if this is true. I think this is true. They didn't tell the dev team they were announcing it. Well, I think they knew they're announcing something, but I think the dev team were in the dark about them giving a release date.
Yeah.
That's what I heard anyway. I can't remember fucking where now, but like, bastards.
Yeah. Developers across multiple teams were pulled in to try and save it, crunching to try to get the remaster at least into a condition where it could be shipped, multiple sources say. The backlash that followed was severe, and the team responsible for development was reportedly dismantled last year. That is literally just these people being put into a completely impossible situation where they could not win, so they obviously didn't win, and then their bosses punished them. Yeah. Disgusting.
It was a suicide mission with no chance of success, like.
Disgusting. Yeah. A narrative emerged around this time among fans and media that Activision was clamping down and exerting more and more influence over Blizz. A narrative that many within Blizzard believe. But Blizzard also continues to cherish what could be called its editorial independence, to the point that even talking about money is actively discouraged in some areas. A firewall of sorts has been constructed around core game development teams, with every effort being made to protect Blizzard's internal development culture. When layoffs hit, game development escaped relatively unscathed. And I think that actually is a bit of a problem there. From what I understand, they really do shield their devs.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they were less sort of babied up by that stuff, maybe they'd be a bit closer to the community and closer to the realities.
Don't worry about the big scary monsters banging on the door. You'll be all right.
And then, of course,
monsters are players.
Yeah, the reported firewall around game dev may be one reason that Keller was so vehement in pushing against this narrative when speaking with IGN. I mean, of course, he's the new director of Overwatch 2. Yeah. He's not going to come in here and, say anti-company things. So he says, I can't think of one time where Activision management has come in and asked us to change a creative decision about any of our games. They have so much faith and trust in these talented developers that they've hired are making the right choices for their games. They give us free rein to do that. I mean, I've heard literally the opposite from at the time, I was quite surprised how senior the person was. So I'm sure that's true in some teams. I'm sure it's not true in other teams.
Yeah.
The flip side of this wall of protection for core game development is that pressure has fallen on more and more other parts of Blizzard, particularly support services, as Activision Blizzard has steadily consolidated the larger business. It was around 2018 that Blizzard's internal development review process was fully revamped, sources say, adopting a stricter one-size-fits-all approach that put the company on the path toward being beholden to stricter performance curves, as Blizzard HR was consolidated into the company as a whole. Activision Blizzard responded in a statement, "We are constantly exploring ways to better serve the need of our player community while simultaneously supporting our people. Right now, we're intensely focused on developing and releasing more games and content and hiring 500 more developers across announced and unannounced projects. In a rapidly changing and competitive industry, this requires a shared commitment and requires us to make decisions that enable us to be effective and adapt while preserving quality expected from our player community."
Take a breath.
Have you... Oh dear, that's a statement from a publicist. God, that's kind of...
Yeah.
That's not particularly clear English. Anyway,
no.
It's very corporate speak. Yes, esports continue to take the brunt of the impact of Blizzard's budget cuts and layoffs as the COVID-19 pandemic bites deep into live events. A separate source we spoke with opted to leave in 2020 when Blizzard refused to upgrade them from contract to full-time, realizing they were apt to be swept up in the next round of layoffs. Sure enough, Blizzard laid off around 50 employees from the esports division in March 2021, citing difficulties from the pandemic.
Standard
Because
game dev, like.
are you going to weather that storm, protect your people, do right by them, allow them to work on long-term projects that could be great and meaningful to your company, or are you just going to quickly get rid of them for a quick buck? Obviously the latter.
Yep, sorry, we need you for 3 months. Here's a contract. We'll just sign it for whatever and then drop you. Like
there's times some of our channels and some of our videos haven't been profitable.
Yeah.
It's not like the next quarter we've then fired them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, sorry, Matt, that one was shit. Out you go. Like, all right, see you later. See you later, boys. Fuck me, like.
Oh, man. Yeah, so to continue on with this, despite the attempts to shelter core development, developers have felt the impact. With the less support from Blizzard's esport and community sections, IGN has heard stories of Blizzard developers having to pick up the slack by helping out with events or writing patch notes. Yeah.
I wonder why they can't get anything done.
Yeah, is that why? If you're dealing with a World of Warcraft patch, you're sitting there being like, what are Blizzard trying to do? I don't know. No one's really told us. There are some patch notes, but they don't actually explain intent or anything. What's going on? Shit show.
Like.
Despite the attempts to, so yes, one way or another, everyone has felt the cuts around Blizzard. And the call out here, the call out post says, IGN has heard stories of Blizzard. Oh, wait, no, we actually just read that. That's a weird thing in articles, but I get how it splits.
Yeah,
up
it's
visually.
like what the first call out was unique, I think, and the rest have been text. And you're like, that's fine. But you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, a bit weird.
Yep.